Hello, hello. It's Aurelia Davis coming to you on a Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon in May. These months are just flying by, but that's okay. I'm still here. That's a good thing. But Aurelia Davis, the educator's educator, is coming to you on a Tuesday afternoon, still talking about education because that's my passion. I love teachers. I love the field of education. I loved being a teacher and going into the field of education. So education is very, very, very important subject to me, especially when it comes down to us teaching our children and giving them exactly the tools they need in order for them to be successful. That's it. So, in the meantime, if you have not gone over to my website, aureliadavis.com, please go over to my website, click on the Thrive Retreat. We're still taking people that we're still soliciting people that are interested in the retreat itself. And so we're just asking that you go on and click on Thrive Retreat. That'll be happening in Tulum, Mexico, July 30th through August 4th. It just almost slipped my mind, but it's still there. It's still there. But anyway, just as we're coming to the end of a school year, I started thinking about what I would anticipate coming into the end of the school year. And I decided that maybe there needs to be a checklist. I can create a checklist for teachers to ask yourself some very important questions before you close those doors on the last day. Ask yourself some very important questions before you close those doors on the last day. Usually, excuse me, within a building, principals and administrators, they prepare for the next year before you even know what's going to be happening for the next year. In other words, they start looking at the classes. They start looking at the how the classes are set up. They start looking at how many first grades, how many kindergartens they have, and so on and so forth. And in our school, we had a swing grade, which was basically first, second, and third. So that meant basically that there would be two second grades one year, two third grades one year, no, two second grades one year, three third grades. And basically, you would either end up teaching second grade or third year. Well, as I was able to get into my building and be more a permanent fixture. Let's put it that way. An assigned teacher. I was an assigned teacher. I was able to teach the same grade every year. So that means I didn't really have to necessarily make any particular changes with my curriculum and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do things. So I taught third grade for quite a number of years. And any new teacher coming in would probably teach second grade one year and teach third grade the next year. And the interesting thing is that we would sometimes ask our principals if we can keep some students. And then sometimes she would basically let us know that it's possibly good to change, our classroom and whatever. So all of those changes were basically in place. All of those changes were basically in place. So if you have not approached your administrators yet, what you want to do is approach your administrators and you want to ask them if you will be teaching the same grade next year. If you will be teaching the same grade next year. You also want to ask them if you will have the same classroom next year, because I know that's something that used to turn us totally upside down. I need you to move down the hall, or I need you to move to the first floor, the second floor. So those two very, very important questions. Will I be teaching the same grade next year? And will I have the same classroom next year? Those are the questions that you want to actually ask your administrators if you have not did that yet. Um, then just taking your own thoughts in your head as to what you think, happened to you this entire teaching year. You want to basically bring up maybe about 5 negative things that happened throughout the school year. 5 negative things that happened throughout the school year. It can be something that happened with your students. It can be something that happened with your parents. It can be something that happened with administrators. It can be something that happened with colleagues. Okay, but basically 5 things. I don't want you to do more than 5 because we can possibly run up a list of about 25 to 30. But no, we want to keep it minimal. We want to keep it minimal. And then at the same time, at another time, maybe later on in the month or in the summertime, you want to look over those 5 negative things that you have written down and decide how they could have been avoided, or what you could have did to fix those 5 negative things. I tried to keep them at a minimal of 3 to 5 because I didn't want to celebrate the negative. I wanted to celebrate the positive. I wanted to celebrate the positive. So write down 5 negative things that happened to you during the school year. And like I said before, they can come into the categories of something that happened in your classroom, something that happened with a colleague, something that happened with parents, something that happened with even physical things that might have been negative to keep you from your full potential as an educator. Something that may have happened with parents, something may have happened with the administrators. These are 5, but just keep it at 5. Don't go overboard. Just keep it at 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, then what you want to do on that same piece of paper, on another piece of paper, list 10 positive things that happened to you during the school year. To list 10 positive things that happened to you personally during the school year. And you taking it on personally because it's something that you felt good about. Something that you felt good about. 10 positive things. And then put them in categories. Okay, you had a positive conversation with some administrators, or you was able to meet some people outside of your administrators, where you was able to connect with another school. That could be something that's positive. Always looking into your future to see exactly what you might want to do next. Positive parent relationships. How many positive parent relationships were you able to build up during the school year? And then, of course, the positive impact that you were able to give your students, the positive impact that you were able to give your students, and the positive impacts your students were able to give you. Because as we give positive feedback and positive things to our students also give positive things back to us. So you want to embrace those things. Positive relationships with colleagues. If you're teaching third grade, are you building positive relationships with the other third grade teachers, or the fourth grade teachers, or the second grade teachers? To have this connection and to build these positive relationships makes your job easier. You don't see it immediately, but it does make your job very, very easy. So 10 positive things, 5 negative things, and then what grade you want to teach. So I'm going to go over all of them again. So we're talking about what grade or room you'll be in next year. You need to set that in place, writing down 5 negative things that may have happened to you this year, and then deciding later on whether they were that negative, or you just basically was feeling bad about it at the time. Then write about 10 positive things that happened to you this year. Next, write down, were you able to get a new, I call them teacher helps. Being teachers can be very, very, very difficult to the level of what we have to accomplish every day. I mean, taking attendance, taking lunch money, collecting for this, and writing down this, and anecdotal records and things like that. Were you able to find at least 2 teacher helps that made your job a lot easier during the day? 2 teacher helps that made your job a lot easier. I remember while teaching that during lunchtime, we would just share teacher helps. I would, for basically teaching math, found out teaching math that basically, instead of me grading every math paper that the children did, and I'm talking about at least 31 children in my classroom, instead of me grading every math paper that the children did within a particular lesson, what I started to do is let them switch papers and grade other people's papers. They loved it because they saw themselves as being teachers. So they love putting a big X on somebody's problem wrong and whatever. And then what even eliminated more of my paperwork and grading is that after they graded the papers, they graded each other's papers, then they would go back and they would discuss it as a group as to how that, in other words, if Johnny got the problem right and Sarah got the problem wrong, Johnny would let you know how he got the problem right. And so they would do it. They would teach each other. So that by the time I was able to give the exam or the final exam for that particular lesson, the children were on point because they were able to teach each other. They listened to each other a lot more than they listened to you as a teacher. So what 1 or 2 teacher helps were you able to secure and write down and keep so that you can build on it, so that you can have them for next year. And that's something that you want to keep a notebook, a notebook filled with teacher helps. You want as many teacher helps as possible. It makes your job a whole lot easier. Okay, number 5. Did you have any professional conversations with your administrators? Were you able to have any professional conversations with your administrators? I found out that as I was going teaching and as I was in that classroom, being in my classroom on a daily basis, I started thinking about what else I could do as an educator, what other field or what other part of being an educator, what other doors would be open to me as an educator. And then I found out that by me going back and getting my master's degree and then deciding what I wanted that master's degree to be in helped me a lot by me being in the classroom. I found myself being a mentor within my building. I found myself giving tips and teacher helps to new teachers. So I found myself in a leadership role, which allowed me to decide that I wanted to go back and get my master's as a teacher in leadership, a master's in teacher leadership. And I did that. So when I decided to do this, of course, as I was going through the coursework and everything, I definitely let my principal know and my administrators know that I was going to be taking classes in the evening and so on and so forth, and what I was going in. And that by me putting those skills on the table, it opened doors for me to do other things within my building. It opened doors for me to do other things in my building. So even with my length of teaching for 31 years, there was quite a few times when I was out of the classroom and I was being a reading specialist or a mentor teacher, doing teacher mentorship. So basically my 31 years was not always in the classroom, but I found out there were other things, activities that I can do within the building itself, doing parent teacher parent workshops and so forth. I did a little bit of everything. So my building was my learning ground. So I learned how to just sort of put myself out there and go to my administrators and just let them know the desires of my heart as to how I wanted to take teaching to the next level. Or the field of education, taking it to the next level. And so I was able to do that. So have that conversation. If you have not had it yet, have that conversation with your administrators, your principal, your assistant principal, dean of students, whoever, and let them know what your desires are as far as furthering your skills in the field of education. And then at times what they will do is they will let you know exactly, okay, well, I heard about this and maybe you want to attend this workshop and so forth. And that gives you the opportunity to just branch out and do other things. And that's how I came to do what I'm doing now as a consultant, because I was able to practice a lot of my consulting skills while I was teaching, going to different classrooms and telling teachers how to do different skills, teaching different skills and training teachers in different skills. So these are the things this is a checkout list. I'll go through it again. Find out if you're going to be in your same grade in the same classroom for next year. List 5 negative things that happened to you this year that you definitely want to go back and revisit to see if it's something that you could have did to keep the negativity away. Then list 10 positive things. What did you relish? What did you celebrate this year? 10 things that you celebrated this year. And then did you find any new teacher helps? Teacher helps are things that basically make your job easier, or activities that makes your job easier as an educator. And then did you have those professional conversations with administrators in your building? Because this basically helps you grow. These things help you grow. This is Aurelia Davis, the educator's educator, coming to you with a checklist for the end of the year. Hopefully you'll be able to use it and just take it to the next level. It basically is a reflection as to how the year went. And you want to basically be able to just embrace everything that happened to you this school year. Well, I'm out again. It was good talking to you. Take care. Go over to AureliaDavis.com, click on the Thrive Retreat and see what we're offering. I'm sure you'll be interested in what we're offering, and we'd just love to see you. Take care and have a great one now. Bye-bye.